Hello. Welcome to another episode of Paper Mache People, the podcast bringing you stories about life away from home. I'm your host, Yilin, and with me today is my co-host, Mi Xue, and we're talking about our experiences working in different countries. From the obvious things like, is the pay worth the pain of leaving home? To more subtle things like, do I have lunch buddies, or can I tell my boss she's wrong? Which, to be honest, play a huge part when it comes to being happy at work. But before we dive into all those good stuff, hey there, Misha. What are you up to in Zurich these days?
Hey, I had my first experience picking up chestnuts in a forest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, last week I was hiking and the place had a big chestnut forest. It's kind of funny because these chestnuts are like basically green sea urchins. They're just like a spiky little ball. And these balls are kind of all around the ground everywhere.
I know what you're talking about. When I used to live in Sweden, whenever I walked home, this path was lined with chestnut trees. So I know the sea urchins that you're talking about. So what did you do with the chestnut?
I roasted some
Oh, wow.
and I'm still trying to find a good recipe for the remaining.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like we picked up almost 2 kilos.
Oh my God.
Between the both of us. So
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Okay.
How about you, Eling? What were you up to recently?
Nothing as exciting as picking chestnuts. Yeah, I've been feeling quite under the weather because the seasons are changing in Tokyo. There was like a typhoon that was approaching today, so the temperature dipped quite a lot.
Okay.
But I was like feeling under the weather for a couple of weeks now, so I was like, do I have cancer?
No, what?
Is something wrong with me? And
that's the thought that goes through your mind.
I was like, okay, if I have cancer, then I won't be able to run 5K without feeling tired, right? So I went out for a run and I could run 5K, so now I'm convinced I'm fine.
What if you're a very fit cancer patient? Enough about us. Eling, what's going on in the world today?
I have prepared 2 pieces of news that I found pretty interesting about work, which is our topic for today. And first is the phenomenon called the hatarakanai ojisan, which means older men who don't work. In Japan, a lot of big companies employ thousands of people, and once you are employed as a full-time employee, you're like guaranteed your employment. Basically, it's like impossible for them to fire you anyway. So in the beginning, when you're young and you have like bosses above you, then you try a bit harder and make a bit of progress. But when you reach like a managerial level, then you realize you can just sit back and relax, and who's gonna do, like, no one's gonna fire you.
Yeah, nothing's gonna happen.
Exactly. So there becomes this group of people who are referred to also as like the Windows 2000 because they earn like 20 million or 2,000,000 yen annual pay, which is like a really good pay.
Yeah.
But they just don't do anything and they're stuck in the past. They're like, they haven't updated since Windows 2000.
Yeah. In Germany, there are these national companies who also have this special law applied to them where once you get a permanent position in these companies, you basically cannot get fired anymore. And a friend of mine works in that company, and she told me that about 50% of the people do not do anything.
That is so sad.
Yeah, it is. It is super sad. You're just kind of like waiting for time to pass for the whole entire day.
All right. And the next piece of news I have for today is, have you ever heard of the word unbossing?
No. What does that mean?
So apparently Gen Zs actively avoid managerial roles.
Interesting.
Because they associate being a manager as being stressed. And they would rather be an expert in their field, be an individual contributor, than be an authority figure.
Yeah.
This is according to Forbes News magazine. But apparently, there's a news piece by The Economist that says a lot of companies are already retrenching a lot of middle managers. So Google, for example, in August just laid off 35% of middle managers.
Yeah.
And
wow, that's a lot of people.
They're getting rid of managers managing managers, basically. Like, why do you need this whole middle layer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's the world adjusting to a new status quo. You have less managers and Gen Zs don't want to be managers. Maybe you'll all just work out.
Yeah.
AIs can't be managers, maybe.
Eileen, given all of this information, are you planning to be a hatarakanai oji-san?
Yes, that's my long-term plan. That's why I'm living in Japan. Well, unfortunately, I'm not an oji-san, so I'm not sure if I can ever qualify for it.
Hatarakanai oba-san.
I would like to see when that is a thing.
You'll be like a trendsetter, like, because there's like a new wave of women working in Japan, and like you have to show them how it's done.
Yeah, and now we have a female prime minister, first time in history. So maybe it's also time for the hatarakanai oba-san. I came to Japan because my last company transferred me here. And at that time, it seemed like it was a really exciting opportunity just because like I could live in Japan. I've traveled here a few times and I really liked it. So the idea of being able to live here and earn money here was very appealing to me.
And you started the whole office there. So that's like a huge feat that you shouldn't,
Yeah, that was That's a really cool experience, to be honest. It felt a bit like running your own startup, but with a bit of like a cushion.
Yeah, totally.
With like this parenting company supporting you. So that was a really, really valuable experience, and I don't regret doing it at all. But sometimes I do wonder, like, is it actually worth it living in Japan and earning a Japanese salary? Because my family is still in Malaysia, and my parents, they obviously want me to be closer to them. I'm sure it's the same for you as well, Michelle.
It's hard to be a parent, yeah.
It is. So, but I did some, comparison, and it is actually quite worth it still to work in Tokyo, even though your expenses are higher.
Yes.
The pay for my current kind of job. So I'm like a product manager in tech, and I think the salary in Tokyo is around 3 times higher than what product managers are paid in KL.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a bit extra.
And to add on top of that, like I think in Malaysia, at least a few years ago when I was still working there, the market was very much more towards support functions rather than R&D, product development. So in terms of opportunity, it's also better in Japan. They actually have some product teams here.
Yes.
Overall, I feel with even like the higher rent and the daily expenses, it's still worth it for me to stay in Tokyo. When I go back to Malaysia, I still feel like things are cheaper. I have like a better spending power when I go back. Despite the fact that ever since I moved here, the yen has just been depreciating against the ringgit. So,
well, they say you can never time it right.
How is it in Switzerland though?
Yeah, so I've been looking for jobs as a data scientist. And actually, I found out that Malaysian data scientists get paid really, really, really well. Dollar to dollar is more or less the same amount between Malaysia and Switzerland.
Wow.
And so the main difference is just the currency. And the currency is like 5 times stronger in Switzerland. But spending wise, in terms of rent and daily expenses, is quite similar. Like Malaysia and Switzerland are quite similar dollar to dollar.
Wow. So I think you would feel the difference only if you like left the country.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You had to convert your money to a different currency, right?
Yeah. But I think as a data scientist in Malaysia, you can live a really, really good life, right? And there are a lot of companies going to Malaysia these days. So it's pretty good.
Time to move back, Misha.
I'm considering it. definitely is quite appealing.
Then you have good food instead of a packed sandwich for lunch.
Oh my God. Yes. Can't wait.
Oh, speaking of lunch, one thing I really enjoyed when I was working in KL was that me and my colleagues would go on lunch break together in groups. And there were so many options in KL. It was in the middle, it was like in the city center. And every day we would go to different restaurants and have different cuisine. It could be Korean today, Malay tomorrow, Chinese the other day. And it's just like so many options. And it's a nice break from actual working because you chat about other stuff with your colleagues, get to know them as friends. Whereas in Japan, it's more like I eat on my own quite a lot, to be honest.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of a shame. I think I agree with you. Like lunch is such a nice time to like get to know your colleagues outside of the work environment, just as like humans. When I was in France as a student, you can get like an entree, so either a salad or yogurt, a main dish, and a dessert for 350 at the time, 350 euros.
Wow, that's cheap.
Which was pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, the quality is not great, but
it's
you know,
something.
you get for what you get what for what you pay for.
Yeah. In Malaysia, it was like 15 ringgit, so it's about the same actually.
Yeah, but you know, like if you earn in the local country, then it's much cheaper, right? I was working in some labs in France, and the French culture is such that you take like maybe an hour's break and then you come back and then you have coffee break and you just kind of like chit chat. And then later on in the afternoon, you get another coffee break. And then I went to the German speaking part of Switzerland. Over there, people take like half an hour breaks. Then I was like, oh no.
What about coffee breaks?
Yeah, I mean, like it's not like an organized coffee break, you know, you just take it whatever you want. So it's not a thing, you know, it's not like, it's 2, let's get a coffee break.
Right.
And when I went to the Netherlands, it really shocked me. The professors themselves, like grown adults, right? They were eating out of their little lunch boxes. And all of them had like, you know, something similar to like a gardenia bread, like toast with like jam or just one layer of cheese. And all of them were like,
that doesn't sound very filling.
No, it's not. But in the Netherlands, they have the viewpoint that if you eat too much during lunch, then you get very tired. So they want to have a light lunch and they tend to have more heavy dinners. I kind of agree, but also it's a little bit, it's not my thing. I want a warm meal.
That's true though. I mean, in KL, that we would usually have a big lunch and then have like 20 minutes of food coma after lunch. And everyone's just like quite unproductive. So we would try to avoid setting meetings right after lunch. At least I would try to avoid that because everyone's just gonna want to fall asleep in that first like 1 to 1:30 period. The Swedish people are very big on coffee breaks though. They have something called fika that they're really proud of. The fika culture where it's mandatory to have coffee.
Mandatory?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's more
what
like...
about those who don't drink coffee?
Everyone drinks coffee in Sweden. There's no such thing as a Swede who doesn't drink coffee. And it's also not allowed to really talk about work-related stuff. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like gossip time.
Yeah, exactly. But going back to like meetings though, when you have like people from different cultures in a group meeting, do you find like certain groups speak more than the others maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I think Europeans are kind of like, let's put Europeans in the middle and compare everybody else to this baseline. I think Asians speak less in general. Like I have some colleagues from China and Korea, and they don't really tend to say anything during lab meetings almost ever. And then once I had this American colleague, and they were like asking a lot of questions and like bringing a lot of like dynamics to the meeting, which I kind of enjoyed. But sometimes it's just like, okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with your observation. I think I had this notion that Westerners in general are outspoken and very good at presentation and just like charming and charismatic. And I realized it's actually just the Americans, to be honest. The Swedes are quite awkward as well. Like Europeans in general are quite awkward.
Yeah, what I realized is that the idea of a Westerner in Malaysia are people who come from Australia and the US and the UK, right? The English speaking countries.
Yeah.
But the rest of Europe is actually very, very different, right? They have a different,
yeah.
I don't know, they're much more shy and reserved.
Yeah, definitely. If you view in a good way, the Americans kind of, open up the discussions. On the downside, they kind of hog a lot of the
limelight.
Yeah, and makes it so that other people who were less likely to speak up to begin with, if there's like an American in the room, they're even less likely to voice up their opinion. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, although I have to say that one of the most impressive and lively meetings I've been in was when I was visiting a lab in the US. So in academia, we tend to be like more shy in general compared to the population. And in Europe, people will always say like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure if I understood correctly," but and then they ask their question. But then when I was in this lab, everyone was like, really showing appreciation to the speaker and then saying, "Oh, it's so amazing. Like, I just have like one question, blah, 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 blah." And I don't know how they do it, but they show a lot of gratitude to the speaker before they ask their question. And they kind of take care of like the people's feelings around them, So it was very dynamic and they interact, like they bounce ideas off of each other. And I found that super inspiring, actually. And I kind of wish that we had a little bit more of that over here.
I think we didn't really have that kind of culture baked into our education, right? Growing up, especially in Malaysia. I don't think, unless you're in a debate team, like these kind of communication techniques or presentation skills were not really a priority. They're not a priority at all, to be honest. You can go through your whole student life up until like university maybe without having to do like a presentation in front of your class, right? I don't recall having done a presentation in front of class.
Yeah.
Before I went to university.
Would you ever contradict the CEO of your company?
It depends on the setting. Like if it was like in a group meeting and he's like doing like all hands meeting and then he says some statistics, I'm like, actually no, you're wrong.
wrong.
Ray said, "Oh, thank you, Mr. CEO. I really appreciate your presentation. I just wanted to mention the numbers that you showed just now. That's actually not correct." No, I wouldn't do that. Even like regardless of the company, unless I wanted to be fired just to get compensated. But in general, I found that there was a difference. When I was working for the Swedish company, I felt like everyone's opinion was valued and hierarchy didn't matter so much. There was actually once the founder of the company was pretty upset about something in the software, a feature in the software, and he was basically ranting to me. And I told him that it was kind of his fault that he didn't realize that this feature had been around for so many years, because it's definitely not a new feature, and the fact that I felt that it was okay to do that, like just to bring it back to his attention that this is not something new, so you could have intervened in this like much earlier, and now it's kind of a bit too late kind of situation.
Oh, okay. How did he take it?
He didn't really want to believe me in the beginning, I feel. But after that he actually conceded And a couple of days later, we had like a...
Wow, he went through all the 5 stages of grievances very quickly.
And a couple of days later, we actually had like a serious conversation about what to do about the problem. Like he went through all his emotions, and he could accept that this is the way things are right now. And then we had like a grown up conversation about how to fix it. So that was really
good. That is so nice. Yeah, it's like it makes you feel like your opinions matter, and then you're seen, and people actually take into account of what you say, right? You're not just there to like fill a spot up on a chair in the meeting room.
Yeah, exactly. And it was beneficial to both parties, right? That we could have a frank conversation like that and not take things personally, because it was all about making a better product. It's not about who was right and who was wrong, right? Whereas I feel like in my current job, I'm working at a Japanese company right now. I would hesitate to tell the CEO that he's wrong about something. I would expect that he will want to hear that information from someone closer in rank to him. So maybe I will have to like raise it with my boss, and then my boss will have to fact check it, and then he would raise it to his boss, and it goes like step by step up, yeah, ちょっとめんどくさいな troublesome. How is it in Switzerland though? Would you tell your professor that he's wrong?
I think, I mean, especially in academia, this interaction, I think, is valued. So I never felt any qualms about having frank discussions with my professors and discussing like what's the right way to move on, how should we do this, what's my opinion. And I never had any issues expressing myself. So yeah, I think that is something that I value a lot, and I think it makes me feel like I'm worth something and I'm not just there to execute someone else's commands.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really like that about Europe in general.
No.
So in general, I am quite happy with my working conditions in Japan in a Japanese company. But there's one thing that really annoys the hell out of me, because I hate collecting stuff in general, but I'm collecting so many name cards every single day at work.
Every single day? What?
Every other day at least.
Oh.
Because, well, ever since I come to Japan, I've been working in a bit of a customer facing role. And every time I meet a customer, I'll have to go through this ritual of exchanging business cards with every single person in the meeting.
Every single person, like one by one?
Yes. This is in the physical meeting, of course. In the web meeting, then you can't really do that. But I still do a significant number of physical meetings.
Yes.
And there's this whole ritual to having a meeting in Japan. First, there's like the time of arrival. So if I go to a customer's office, then I will have to time myself so that I arrive preferably 15 minutes before. But 15 minutes before is too early to approach the front desk or contact the person that you're meeting. So 5 minutes is the correct time where you can show up into the...
So you loiter around for 10 minutes and then you're like, okay, 5 minutes, let's go.
Exactly. And then after you enter, the customer will show you into the meeting room. And when you go in, you have to be like, oh, 失礼します. It's like, excuse me. And then you go into the room, and they will most likely ask you to sit in the feng shui spot, which is the back side of the room.
So you get a bird's eye view of the entire room.
Yes. I don't really know why. Maybe it's just so that you can see who's coming in and out of the room, so you don't have your back face towards the door to make you feel a bit more secure. I don't know if this is like some relic from the samurai times. Cannot be backstabbed if you're looking at the door.
Yeah.
Then the ritual of changing business cards happen before you get into the meeting. So you will have to line up from higher rank to low rank, and the people with the higher ranking on both sides will exchange their name cards first, and go through
Wow.
Then when you receive the name card, you have to make sure you look at the name card and like, oh, it's like this name card is so interesting. It's like such a good design, and this person is like this
What? You have
department.
to compliment every name card?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to say it out, but you have to make the appearance as if you're observing it for like a significant amount of time.
Oh, wow.
And then you sit down at the table after the whole exchanging is done. There's like normally too many people in the meeting in Japan. I have no idea why half the people are in the meeting to begin with, but they're really consensus based like kind of culture, so they need to pull in like 10 different people from 10 different departments to make one decision. And then it makes it really difficult to track who is who, right? So then it hit me, it's like, okay, so because every meeting you have is like so many people, you need to have like a name card to identify the person that you're talking to. And on top of that, in Japanese, you don't say you. So if like you wanted to refer to someone who said something just now, it's like you can't say to answer your question. It's like, who is you here? You have to say like that person's name. So like Tanaka-san.
That makes a lot of sense then. Like this business card is a thing.
So if you mess up like the name, then it's a bit like GG lah. But that's why you have to remember at least the important people's names.
Oh man. Has it ever happened to you that you don't know how to read the characters and then you're like, oh, I don't know what the name
all the
is?
time. But I found a trick. Usually it will have their email, and if you're lucky, the email convention is usually last name, first name. And
I see. Yes.
From the email.
Very smart. That's a good tip. I don't think I've ever given any thought about how I enter a meeting room and where I sit, ever. I think the only consideration I have is like my distance to the front row, and I'm kind of like a middle row, end of row person.
Same.
But that's kind of it. That's kind of it.
Yeah. I don't think like people in Europe have these kind of cultures, but I think in Korea and China, it's still very much a thing that the most important people have like some sort of special treatment in a room.
Yeah, and I feel like all of these rituals make it such that it's not conducive for the younger, like more junior people to voice their opinions in any shape, way, or form, right? It's just like, okay, you're there to learn and observe, but you're not there to be part of the meeting per se.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why these people, they're not say anything to their CEO even if they're wrong.
Okay, let's try to figure out where's the best place to work on Earth via a few trivia questions. Are you ready, Yiling? Which country has the most public holidays? Is it A, Malaysia, B, Iran, or C, India?
Malaysia, for sure.
Yes, we do have a lot of public holidays in Malaysia. But the answer is Iran.
Wow.
Iran actually has 27 public holidays per year.
Oh my God.
Compared to Malaysia's 18 holidays per year.
That's 1 month off.
Isn't that crazy?
That's 1 month off per year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so great. Shall we move to Iran?
But wait, do they have like weekends on Saturday and Sunday? Or do they have like the Friday weekends in?
I think they... Iranian weekends are Thursday, Friday.
Interesting. So not only do you have to, if you're doing business with Iran, not only can you not reach them on Thursday, Fridays, because their weekends are different, and on top of that, they're gone for like 1 month in the whole year. Can't be easy.
Yeah. Out of Japan, Malaysia, and Switzerland, which country has the earliest retirement age?
I think it should be Malaysia.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so in Malaysia, the retirement age is 60. And in Japan and Switzerland, it's 65. However, the country with the earliest retirement age on earth is Saudi Arabia. And their retirement age is 47. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy?
I'm like less than 2 decades until retirement. And I don't know how that makes me feel.
The first time when I signed a contract, they wrote, what's the year in which I will be able to retire? And I saw that year and I was like, oh my God, I have to work for so many more years.
It's literally like a lifetime away.
Yeah, totally. That was very unmotivating.
Time to move to Saudi Arabia.
Which country out of Japan, Malaysia, and Switzerland has your back the most when you get unemployed in terms of receiving unemployment benefits?
Switzerland for sure.
Yes, you are right.
I don't think the Japanese government takes care of you that much when you get unemployed.
It seems like you do actually. In Japan, you receive between 50 and 80% of your insured salary. But that's kind of okay. In Switzerland, you get between 70 and 80%.
Right. That's a lot though. I think I know why I had that impression for Japan. Sometime my third year working in Japan, my employer asked me, hey, do you actually want to be insured for unemployment? Because you're tied to the company anyway. So, and then I being very naive said, yeah, why am I contributing to the unemployment insurance monthly if I'm not going to be unemployed in Japan anyway? Like, don't need lah, cancel.
I remember this story.
1 year later, I was unemployed for 5 months.
Yeah. Oh, well, we live and we learn.
Never cancel insurance because that's the whole point of insurance. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'd love to hear what your experience at work is like, wherever you are. So drop us a comment on your podcast app or message us on Instagram or TikTok at papermache.people. And if you haven't already, hit that follow button so you get a notification when a new episode is out. Bye for now.